California with Mr. Rodriguez, World War II veteran. At this time, would you like to identify yourself and give us some of your experience in the service?
My name is Manuel M. Rodriguez. I entered the service in February the 9th, and I served in the European Theater Operations.
And what did you do when you first got in the service?
We trained to go to Africa in the desert, and but we did not end up in Africa. We ended up in Europe, and so but we trained in Yuma, Arizona.
Good luck.
And when did you finally go overseas? Approximately, or
About a year after. About a year afterwards.
and where did you land?
In Normandy.
Normandy.
In Normandy, Omaha Beach.
And can you share a little bit with us what it was like?
We got there. We got there in the middle of the night on D-Day on June the 6th, and in the morning, next morning, we came on shore. They unloaded us. We were a mobile unit. There was 16 anti-aircraft 40 millimeters and trucks. We were all mobile, and we put us on landing barges and shot us to the beach. And from then on, we was on our own. We had our own water, our own gas, our own rations, and our landing barges were coming in without troops. Some of them were with troops, some without troops, but they were loaded with ammunition inside and rations on the outside, food rations. So we had plenty of supplies, you know. Right away, in our big ships were out on the ocean, and they were firing these big shells. They would make a hole as big that you could drive a truck in. So the first hole that I found me, I drove my truck in there and covered it with a net and set up my machine gun on top. I had a 50 caliber machine gun on top of my head, and in my truck, because I was a truck driver, and I was pulling a 40 millimeter gun, and I had another 50 caliber in the back of the truck. So I covered my nets, and I'm in that hole, and I'm ready for anything, ready to fight. That same morning. So that's the way we started.
And how long did you push inland?
We went in about 2-3 miles, not very far, because there was Germans were on top.
And during this time, they were all firing at you at all time, I take
Well, they were firing, yeah, that was firing, but what was surprising that we did not see the airplanes. The German Air Force didn't show up. Maybe one plane, but we thought But at that time, our planes were coming in so heavy that they would make like a cloud. You know, you could not see the sun. It was just beautiful. I mean, the B-17s, the B-24, the Liberators, the P-38s, the P-40s, and it was just all over the place. The P-51s, not P-40s, but P-51s, they were just all over the place. And you could walk out. I took my helmet off, walk all over the place. Nobody would shoot at you.
Oh, wow.
Because they were afraid somebody would fire a gun over there on that side, and our plane would go, zoom, wipe them out. See?
So like, how long did this time-wise?
This lasted for about 2 days. And those first 2-3 days, the American engineers were laying this landing strips right there on the beach. made out of wire mesh. So our planes were landing there. Our P-47s were landing. And then we're reloading and going back to the front lines. So then our assignment was to guard those planes with those anti-aircraft guns. But when they didn't have no air power, the Germans, they took us out of that assignment and put us with the 28th Division with the infantry guys. Support.
And so, like time-wise, this lasted about how long before? Like,
About 3 weeks.
about 3 weeks.
About
Okay.
3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
And then, like after the 3 weeks, then where were you assigned?
We headed to St. Lo we made the liberation of Paris, and that's the way that the paper showed you. That's the way we went.
And so, like, in how long were you there in the entire stretch before you actually got relieved?
Oh, well, we went. Don't forget, December the 16th was the Battle of the Bulge, and I was going to be 21 on December the 18th. And I remember I got off of that hole and I got my machine gun and I said, let me be 21. I started firing like crazy. I got mad, you know, because I wanted to be 21 years old. And they were almost killing me. See what happened? We were put into a rest area. My company or my platoon. And so we were resting in the middle of about 4 o'clock in the morning. Big tanks, German tanks, the Panthers, they start firing at us. So my sergeant asked me, he says, hey Rod, what's going on? I says, they didn't even finish saying. I just said, I don't. And bang, they start hitting us real hard with the big shells. And so I got into a ledge of dirt and I stayed there and I wasn't hit. So my sergeant, my platoon sergeant, another sergeant, he came by and says, let's get the heck out of here. So we ran across a mountaintop, a little hilltop, and into a hole. And my cook was right behind me, so he fell down about 100 feet behind me. He got exhausted. He couldn't run. So I'm in the hole, and he says, Rod, help me. I says, no, heck no, I'm not going to go out there no more. I'm inside this hole. And then Germans were firing. So I says, oh God, I can't let him out there. So I got up and went after him, put him on my shoulder, but he was so scared he was dead weight. So I tell him, says, jump, you son of a bitch. So if he jumped, I would carry him. So I got him and threw him in the hole. And then I dove. We stayed there for about an hour. The sergeant that I'm telling you about that was with me, he was my platoon sergeant. I heard him, he was in that hole with his head in this hole, and he was praying. I said, if he's praying, we in trouble. So I started praying too. So then, after about 15 minutes, he says, let's make a run for it. But like across the street, there was a bunch of blackberries, a row of blackberries in a ditch. So I said, we gotta go through there. So I took a dive through the blackberries, and says, I'm gonna be blooded when I get to the other side. Not a scratch. Not a scratch on me. I went in and we got into a bunker. And that's where we stayed the rest of that day and the night. And then Patton came in with his tanks. General Patton came in with his tank and saved us. And then from then on, we had a pretty, wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't bad at all. We had course, we didn't have no more, we lost a lot of our equipment and stuff like that, you know. And we had to get rid supplies, you know.
Mr. Rodriguez, when you saved your friend under fire, did they give you any commendation for that?
No, no, I still carry that, you know.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see. Let me ask you this. But you were under fire, right? When you went out to bring your...
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of stuff didn't get reported. Like, you know, I should have gotten a Purple Heart. I didn't get a Purple Heart. You know, I got all split open right here. Like, you know. But a lot of stuff didn't get. I didn't want no part of that, you know.
Right. At the time. And then what happened after this? Like, it cleared off? Did you move on? Where else did you go from there?
From there on, we went to. Well, we had to get resupplied because we lost a lot of stuff. And then I think I went to do military government.
Okay.
I did military government also.
Okay. And when you got out of the service, then what did you do after the service?
After I got out of the service, I had me 6 months of vacation.
Okay.
6 months of vacation I had. I didn't do nothing for 6 months. Every day was party for 6 months.
Okay. Now, so you were overseas in combat for about a year, is that correct?
No, it was about almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years. Okay.
2.5 years.
Okay. Is there any other thing that comes to your mind that you'd like to share with us during those 3 years?
I can't remember right now.
Okay. Then, how did the service and your experience affect your life?
I don't think it did anything because I didn't, you know, I didn't go. I had to go do a job and I did a job and I got out. You know, I mean, I didn't go for a. I didn't want to have no commission. I don't want to be no corporal. I didn't want to be nothing. I mean, I go and do whatever I have to do. Get it done. And that's it.
Okay. You are also Native American, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about your background as Native American?
Well, all I know, what I know is that we are 37%, I think, 37% Custodian, and my great grandmother was a full-blood Indian. Yeah.
As a Native American, how did that affect you overseas?
No. Because I don't know about some other people, but me, I've never thought myself of being nothing else just but an American, you know.
Okay.
A lot of people think, well, I'm a cholo, I'm a this, I'm a that. No, there was nothing. At that time, they were having trouble with the Pachucos in Los Angeles, if you remember, in 1942, 45. And but I wasn't. Man, I used to work. I worked for Orange Belt Fruit Distributors. I started working for them when I was about 17 years old, and then I went up and I got myself a chauffeur license, and I started driving trucks. And that's all I did. I just worked. I worked hard. And at that time, they were only paying us 55 cents an hour or something like that. And I used to bring $125 home every week. So, I mean, I worked a lot of hours.
Okay. I did notice that on you received the Middle Eastern campaign with 5 Bronze Stars. What does that mean?
Each Bronze Star means one battle.
So you were in 5 battles?
5 battles, 5 major battles.
And could you share with us which ones, if you don't mind?
Well,
I mean,
I can't say exactly which one, but I remember Normandy and you know the Rhine, the Bastogne or Battle of the Bulge, and going to Germany. Those are the ones that.
and during these battles, Do you remember anything you could probably share a little bit with us of each one, or maybe if you feel to share?
I can't remember right now, you know, I mean, that's, sometimes I'm half asleep and I'll remember something could come, you know.
Okay. Well, then one last question, Mr. Rodriguez. If you could talk to the president, what would you recommend him today regarding our nation or our youth as a veteran?
As a veteran? Don't forget the veterans. Just don't forget those veterans, because they go and do a job for our country. I'm always thinking about our veterans. You know, when I came back from the Army, I was a veteran, and I used to see these veterans of World War I. Maybe you remember Pete Preciado? He was a World War I veteran. And I didn't think very much of his things that he did in World War I. But now, since then, I had changed my mind when I said, I should have been more respectful to that man. I mean, but I was a veteran, but I didn't consider myself a veteran. I was just, I'm out of the Army and I'm happy to be out, you know, and stuff, have a good time. And it was, yeah, but now, Pete Duarte, his name. Pete Duarte, he's a World War I veteran.
And he was from Pomona.
From Pomona, yes, He used to work for the city of Pomona also.
Okay.
And I should have given him more credit than I did then, you know, I mean, more respect, and I didn't. I look back at it now and I say, I'm sorry I didn't. I apologize for that.
So, all right. Is there anything else that you would care to share with us regarding anything?
Not that I can think right now. You know.
Okay. Then, thank you very much for your interview, and appreciate it.